I'm Ashley.
And I'm Brooke.
And you're here with us on A Teachers Who Talk Crime.
Ooh. Podcast. You okay?
Came out a little. It's A Teachers Who Talk Crime.
Oh, okay.
That was not my best work. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Right. Me and James have been talking about this moment on Survivor. We love Survivor, by the way. So I think, personally, I texted the girl group chat. Ashley's a part of this girl group chat. And I was like, I think we should go on Survivor. No one responded how I thought they would respond. I thought everybody was going to be gun-ho. Woohoo, yes.
Here's the thing. We were on Beach Shazam, as you all know by now.
Yes, yes.
And again, we know we were on the show weeks ago at this point. But we are cranking out episodes for Brooke's maternity leave that we are just not even looking at the calendar. I feel like we need to do better at that, but we are just getting in where we can fit in and recording. So I know by the time you hear this, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, we already saw the episode. Blah, blah, blah.
Yay.
We were on TV. You. I hope, because at this point I haven't seen it, I hope I don't look a fool.
Me too.
I hope that they edited it in a way that, because I have RBF real bad.
I tried to smile the whole time. And I also was pregnant and no one knew. And so I was like trying to hide the bump. And the bump wasn't, you knew. So it was,
I just hope that I don't look mean. I know my makeup was fire. Shout out to my makeup artist because she had me beat to the gods.
Yep. I needed my makeup artist to live with me.
I kept that makeup on all night.
Uh-huh. Sure did.
I did not take it off until I went to bed. Because I look like a beautiful princess. Okay.
All day too. All day.
All day.
Mm.
And then we were recording because we were like mic'd up, right? And they're like, yeah, we can hear everything. We were like, okay, cool. So like I would just be like, Brooke, I'm sweating. Brooke, I'm sweating. I can feel it. I can feel the sweat.
And then outran the makeup artist.
And then they would be like, oh God. And they'd be like, you look great, darling. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I need this all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
And then Paul, and then like our little producer like had a fan and he was like walking around like fanning us. And it was so cute. Yeah.
It's a Papa
Paul.
But yeah, we did it. It was a fun experience. I would 100% do it again.
100%.
Don't know if I'm going to do it again on Survivor. I don't think I would survive.
You would. I think you would have great gameplay. And I think, out of the four of us, I think I would be really good at challenges. Okay, after the baby, not with the baby. After the baby, I'd be really good at challenges. I think Whitney would be the worst at gameplay, like the manipulation and the lying part.
Whitney would just be like, they're mad at me.
I know everybody hates me. Everybody just, they're talking about me. And I just know it.
And then meanwhile, everybody else is like, yeah, Whitney mad cool. She funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel like
you'd be really good at gameplay, like the sneaky, like stuff like that. You'd be good at it. And then Ari, I think she would just be a dual threat on challenges and gameplay.
I feel like Ari would just be a beast.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
She would just be a jack around, a jack of all trades, if you will.
Yep.
Like because see, my thing with Survivor is just like, do they get to shower?
No, you shower in the ocean. It's only for 26 days. You can do anything for 26 days.
What happens if it's like...
What?
That time.
Oh, that's a great question for Google.
That, and also like, this may be a little TMI for everybody. You know, you guys have known me episode, what episode is this? 100 something at this point.
Yeah.
Your girls got poop anxiety.
They poop in the ocean.
I'm not going on Survivor.
Yeah.
I'm not going on Survivor. That was all I needed to hear. I won't be going. I'm sorry.
What about if you dug a hole and pooped off to the side?
Out in the open?
Well, nobody be looking at you. Go like
I
privately.
would feel like everybody would be watching me. If I was in the
There's
middle.
always one person on every season that like goes like 3 weeks without pooping.
I would go the whole show because in the ocean?
Yeah.
In the ocean?
Well, I mean, who's it affecting if it's in the ocean? It's not affecting
the ocean life?
Well, they'll be all right.
The aquatic creatures?
They will. Do you know they swim in their own pee? They do it.
And then what happens if I'm swimming along and a little turd hit my... Oh, absolutely not.
So no, you're out. No survivor. What if I signed us up and like you just...
I would have to audition, and I would say I did not give her my consent. I told her that I'm not pooping in no ocean and in no hole.
But it's for $1 million. You could poop in the ocean for $1 million.
Here's the thing: the $1 million is not guaranteed, and if it's not guaranteed, and I'm going to voluntarily poop in the ocean, and I may leave with nothing.
You would leave with a great experience.
I would leave with trauma. New trauma that I would have to unpack with my therapist.
I just think that I should sign us all 4 up and just see what happens.
Tell them that my non-negotiable is I need a toilet. I'm sorry.
You can't have a toilet. That's not Survivor.
They're going to have to make if they want all this on primetime television, I'm going to need a toilet. I'm going to need to go where the crew goes. Where do they go to the bathroom? I'm going there.
Yeah, I don't think that's how it works.
I'm going there. I will make friends with the crew like, hey, I win this money. I'm going to give you some. You let me go use your toilet. You let me go hook that thing up.
Yeah, I did read like you're not even supposed to like acknowledge that the crew's even standing there.
And then like, are there like wild animals out there that could like eat me?
I haven't seen like the rubber, but they're snakes.
Are they poisonous?
Well, I don't know. I've never been. Depends on where it's filmed.
Gosh,
they're in Fiji right now.
See, I would let's do a compromise. Amazing Race.
I've never seen that.
You just racing around the country. Just going everywhere. Just all around the world. Just
they
popping
fly
off
me?
Different continents. Yes. And then you gotta be like the first person to get somewhere. It's all about I feel that I would do.
Okay.
I would if Amazing Race, I would do. I mean, I would be really tired because some of those challenges, they look like they hurt my knees. But, I would do my best.
Okay.
I would do my best.
So we'll just sign up for both and see which one we get picked for.
Didn't agree to that. The first one doesn't have a toilet. I don't think you understand. Well,
cavemen did it for years. I mean,
I'm not a caveman.
Yeah, but like, that's our roots.
I'm a girl. And it's 2024.
That's true. Well, okay. Well, I might have to get Whitney to do it with me, but Whitney would cry. I think she'd be really good with challenges.
Yeah. And she would be really good at making friends and just being kind and making us laugh.
But then she'd have to go to tribal, and I don't think she'd be able to vote anybody off because she's just so nice.
Like, everybody is my friend.
And I don't know whose name to write down, Jeff.
Should I just put my own name?
I'll just do that. I'll vote for myself every time.
She really would. She really would. She really would.
She
really would. Mm-hmm.
We love her.
That's our friend.
Yeah, we love her. Heart of gold. Heart of gold.
Truly think she was a Disney princess in her past life.
Yes.
Truly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. She sings to birds. They sing back.
All that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We have the voice note evidence.
We do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But anyways. So we're going to definitely apply for other game shows. It was fun. It was a great experience. It was so
much fun.
So fun. So if you have a game show that you think that we should be on, let us know.
And don't do anything crazy. Like,
let us know.
Fear Factory. Even though I know that doesn't come out anymore.
I vote Survivor.
I vote
Ashley
Amazing
votes
Race.
Amazing Race.
I would also
do the
go
Circle.
on. You know, I applied for the Circle once, but I didn't make it through.
Really?
I guess I did. Because when I first saw the first season, I was like, oh, I could be on something like this. But I feel like I would just be myself.
Well, I was about to say, would you go in as yourself?
I feel like I would go in as myself. I wouldn't go, I'm just...
Yeah.
She's a girl's girl.
I asked James, I was like, you would obviously go in as me, right? And he's like, excuse me? And I was like, well, I mean, what social media presence do you have, baby?
But imagine like James trying to act like you.
It would be a little over the top.
It would be so funny. Like I could just see him trying to like flirt with like, like, yeah.
I don't even flirt with him. He wouldn't even know what I sound like flirting. Like, do you like sandwiches?
Do you like makeup? Because I'm really good at it.
I have a dog named Ashton.
And I call her Ashy Bashy.
A winky face, fire emoji.
James, we love you. We truly do.
We do.
I don't think like pretending to be like someone else would be hard for me.
Hard. Yeah. I told him, I was like, I'm going to apply for this show. And he's like, no, you're not, because you're not going to go in there and flirt. I was like, I flirt with a Starbucks guy. It's just a natural instinct. Like, I'm not like doing anything wrong. And I was like, also, it's for money. I was like, and I would come home because there's like currently a guy on there who's married. And he's like told his wife, he was like, look, gonna be flirting just to let you know. And they agreed. And they also agreed that he go into the game single because it would like heighten his odds or something. So I was like, you just have to have those talks.
I mean, as long as they agree with that, I think wasn't someone on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, and one of them, like the guy was married and he went on the show or something like that. I think I saw it on TikTok. I don't remember if it was real or not. I don't really watch that show. It's not my cup of tea. Y'all who like it out there, y'all got it.
Yeah.
Y'all got it. But I was just like, that's a little too much. Like, if you're married and you don't have an agreement with your spouse about going on a show where you're going to have to, like, not necessarily do things with the person, you know what I mean? But flirt and stuff like that, as long as you have a mutual agreement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who
are we to judge?
Yeah. Get your money.
So.
Child, we tried.
Yeah, we did. We sure did. We did our best.
We sure did. It was hard.
We got a really bad playlist.
It was hard.
We got a bad playlist.
Because y'all know Brand Tisha knows a lot of songs. You know baby girl know a lot of songs, okay?
But mom and dad did great.
And mom and dad did so good.
They did so good.
And we still talk to all of the people on the episode with us. Like,
Raymond does monthly check-ins.
Yeah, it's really cute. Like, it was just, shout out to them. Shout out to everybody who was on the episode with us. Because we making connections, building bonds, having this experience together. It was, couldn't ask for it to go on any better. I mean, winning money would have been great.
Would have been nice.
But again, it was an experience. An experience was had. 10 out of 10 would recommend. So if any of you think that you would be good on a television show, child, try it.
Do it. Do it.
Because, hey, never have I ever thought I would be on primetime television.
I know.
And
exactly.
now look at me.
Never have I ever thought I'd meet Jamie Foxx.
Never have I ever.
I can officially say when people are like, have you ever met a celebrity? I can be like, actually, yes, I have. Yes, I have. So,
yeah,
pretty cool.
And he thought our podcast was crazy.
Yeah,
he did. He just could not wrap his head around Teachers Talk Crime.
The amount of SHITs they had to cut out because he was like, he kept cursing because he thought we were so weird.
He was like, so y'all killing people? And we were like, no.
No.
Sir, no.
And then he had to ask his daughter, he was like, is this like a thing?
And she was
She's
like, yeah.
Yes. She's like,
True
I
crime.
listen
I
to
was like,
true
yes,
crime.
man.
Yes, girl. Yep.
Yeah, but it was a good time. It was a good time. Hope y'all
Yeah.
enjoyed the episode. I'll give you my live reactions once I actually see it.
Yes.
And if I hated everything, you will never hear this episode, and we're gonna re-record it all over again and act like it never happened.
Swipe it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't even watch our YouTube videos, so I don't know how I'm about to feel about this.
I do occasionally, and I know my camera quality isn't the best. Child, I'm trying, guys. I'm doing my best work. Y'all said y'all wanted to see us. Here we are. You're gonna get what
flesh.
you get, you know. But sometimes I watch them and be like, ooh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it'll be okay.
Yeah.
It'll be all right.
Great. Y'all still watch it, so must be doing something right.
Yep. But let's acknowledge somebody.
Yes, and get into our Estudiante Estrella.
It's an email.
Okay.
Email. Yes. And it is from A. Kendall.
Okay, A.
Kendall. Yeah.
A. Kendall.
And she goes ahead and says that it's a 5-star review. So. Yes. And her title is Sit Down, Shut Up. The review is about to begin.
Stop.
I love that.
I love when they just give it back to us. I love that. I love that.
So A. Kendall says, hi, ladies. I want to leave a review, but I do not use Apple or Spotify. I heard about this podcast from Coffee and Cases. Oh, shout out.
What?
Instantly, I knew I would love this podcast. Ashley and Brooke are phenomenal. Their cases are always well-researched, and the banter is perfection. They are professional without being dry and boring. I went all the way back and started at the beginning and binged to current. I love the friendship between Ashley and Brooke, and I wish I could be friends with these lovely women. So Ashley and Brooke, thank you so much for your podcast. This review's for you. Bing.
Hey, Kendall!
Yes.
Stop. That was so sweet.
I like that.
She like us.
She does.
She really does.
She even went back to the beginning.
And where do you listen if you're not on Apple and Pop? And
I was just thinking that.
I mean, I know we're on pretty much all, but I don't really know the other streamer. Are you watching us on YouTube, girl? You seen us?
Yeah.
Right now? I look all right? Okay. Oh, man. Well, hey, Kendall, thank you so much for your review. This gold stars for you. Bing.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I forgot my line.
I was like, hello?
I forgot my line.
She
totally I was waiting on Ashley.
I was waiting on you.
I just had the biggest pregnancy brain. I was just sitting here. I was like, okay. All right.
Wow, this is nice. I was like, I thought you glitched. I thought the internet went out. I was scared.
I don't know what just happened in my brain.
It's okay.
But it is my line. It's my line now. Okay, cool. I'll get into that. So sit down, shut up. The murder is about to begin.
Ahora. All right, everybody. So we are here with a case from yours truly today. This episode is not sponsored by TikTok. However, when I was researching my other case that I found on TikTok, I found this one. So
TikTok has basically sponsored your last 3 cases.
So it's kind of from TikTok, but not from TikTok, because I was reading a news article about the last one I did. So yeah, TikTok is involved. You know, TikTok, it brings us everything.
It does.
Mm-hmm. So we'll begin today's lesson on April 1st, 2023 in Red Lion, Pennsylvania. And as you know, I live in Delaware. I just Googled it myself. That is an hour and 42 minutes away from my home.
I don't like that.
That's a little too close.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that. 12-year-old Kain Heinland was hanging out with 2 of his friends, 13-year-old Nolan Grove and Miles Belleman. For the life of me, I couldn't find out how old Miles was, but I'm assuming he's like either 12, 13, somewhere around there. It was a pretty typical Saturday for the boys. They hung out and fooled around as boys do while going back and forth to Miles's and Nolan's house. According to sources, Nolan had his father's .380 Kel-Tec semi-automatic pistol with a laser sight on it. Miles recalled Nolan taking the pistol from the gun cabinet in his father's home. Nolan was not the only boy with a gun in his possession. Miles had a BB gun. According to court documents, Kain stated the following: "This is not fair. I'm the only one without a gun." Miles recalls Nolan playing with the gun because he could hear it clicking. He also observed Nolan turning on the laser sight on the gun a number of times. So they're hanging out. Two of the boys have guns. One does not. One boy is turning on the laser, clicking the gun.
Okay, so these boys have been obviously exposed to guns, though. Like,
yes,
clearly they didn't just
not
find
necessarily Kain, though. I didn't really hear anything about Kain, like, not playing with a gun, but like handling a gun before. So I'm not confused. I'm just wondering why he's like, this is not fair, when I don't think he's a kid who had access to guns. You know?
Well, so. I think it's just, and two, it's like how you're raised too, because like we have guns, and obviously one of James's goals is to teach Preston gun safety.
Oh, 100%. And smart.
You know, like, but also James wants his guns locked up. And why are these guns not locked up away from children?
I mean, there was a cabinet. I guess the gun, maybe he knew I don't know if the cabinet was left unlocked or if he knew the safe code or like how to get in. I'm not really sure how he got in there, but he got it. The gun was taken out again later in the day. According to sources, Miles saw two girls near Nolan's home that he believed had his scooter. The boys approached the girls in an attempt to get the scooter back. According to one of the girls, Nolan allegedly said that he wasn't afraid to shoot someone and he would shoot someone if he could. The other girl remembers Nolan saying that he would shoot someone if he had to. So he's just out here telling people, I'll
shoot you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Miles recalled that as he and his friends were walking away, Nolan pointed the gun at the girls. So the girls are walking away, they're walking away. He turns and just points the gun at the girls who are walking away.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, buddy, I got to go home.
Yeah, this is a little too much because you're doing
time to go to dinner.
Yeah, you're doing a little too much here. While at Nolan's house listening to music, Nolan pointed the pistol at Kain and turned on the laser. There was actually video surveillance of this. And now, it's a little like tricky because some say it was a FaceTime and some say it's video surveillance. So I'm not sure if part of it was like that there was a FaceTime call, but that there was also video surveillance, like with a Ring camera.
They had cameras in their house. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like video surveillance and then it was like FaceTime. So I'm not sure if they're referring to one thing
just
or two
like
separate
caught
things.
on video.
Yes.
Okay.
In the video, you can hear Kain telling Nolan the following: "Take your finger off the trigger." There was also a FaceTime screenshot that showed Kain covering his face with his hands while laying on his back, and Nolan was standing over him. The person on FaceTime was on the call for about 2 hours and remembered Nolan pointing the firearm at both Nolan and Miles a number of times. The FaceTimer heard Nolan talking about how he wanted to shoot the gun and even saw him point the gun before pulling the trigger at a building outside Nolan's garage. So yeah, the person who was on the phone, I believe it was on Miles's phone, is just, I guess, a fourth friend who just wasn't at the event and was just on the phone the
they're
whole time.
13 and they FaceTime each other. They FaceTime each other in class. Like, my kids literally do not call each other. They FaceTime each other, even though they're talking to each other like this. But they're on FaceTime, looking at ceilings. I'm like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah, like, what is the purpose? 100%.
Like, just call each other.
Yeah.
So that didn't really shock me. You were like 2 hours on FaceTime.
I mean, I'm not on FaceTime like that, but I do have like people that I FaceTime, like my sister and my friend Bria. Like, we have a group FaceTime and we will FaceTime our evenings and like be talking sporadically here and there, but like going through life. Like, I'll be getting the girls ready. I'll be making dinner. Like, someone else will be cleaning.
Me and Mary do that. But I mean, because Mary's a chaotic person. So like she never can just sit down and FaceTime.
I mean, hey, there's always something to be done.
Yeah.
You gonna find that out in a couple months, girl.
I know.
There's always something to be done around here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
A little before 8 p.m., the trio went back to Miles's house, but then headed back to Nolan's. Because remember, they're like very in close proximity to one another.
They're like in a neighborhood?
Yeah, they're in a neighborhood.
Okay.
They live about like a block away from each other, it said.
Okay.
As they were making their way back to Nolan's house, video surveillance caught him pointing the gun in the direction of an intersection. So he's just out here pointing the gun at people, just like
he's just like waving this gun.
Yeah.
Like, hey guys, look at my gun.
Yes, essentially.
Wow.
During this time, Miles heard Nolan playing with the gun. He was loading and unloading the gun and also opening it halfway to make the bullet drop out. Miles remembers Nolan putting the bullet in his pocket, but could not recall if he put the bullet back in the gun. Okay.
But there could have already, that's the crazy part about guns though. It's like, even if you think that you emptied it, the chamber is not always empty.
That's so scary.
Yeah.
That's so scary. However, he does recall Nolan playing with the gun in the pocket of his sweatshirt because he had one of those sweatshirts with the pockets in the front. They were walking through one of Nolan's neighbors' backyards. Nolan said something about Kain's mom, but specifics were not released about what was actually said. Apparently, Nolan had been making your mama jokes towards Kain throughout the entire day, and Kain would just tell him to shut up. Allegedly, Nolan went as far as texting Kain's mom using Kain's phone and telling her that she was really hot. Now, that was in one source, so I cannot confirm if that actually happened.
It's very like 13-year-old behavior, though.
Yeah, they're just making your mama jokes at one another. Like, well, not one another. It's just one-sided. Like, Nolan is just telling this to Kain.
My kids are, it's just my boys. But my boys are like, don't make me call Judy. Don't make me call Caroline. Don't make me call, Susan. Talking to their friends. And I'm like, what?
Like, how about I call your mom?
Yeah.
Too.
Because I got all y'all's numbers right here.
Here you go.
Yeah.
At around 8:22 p.m., Nolan joked about Kain's mom again, and Kain told him to either shut up or be quiet. According to sources, Nolan said, "You know what happens to Kain." Kain was walking in front of Nolan, and Miles was behind Nolan. It was then that Nolan took out the gun from his pocket of his sweatshirt and pointed it at Kain. At this point, according to Miles, that's when Nolan shot Kain in the right side of his back. Miles wasn't sure if the gun actually touched Kain's back, but he remembers seeing fire when the trigger was pulled.
Wow. So Nolan, they're like basically in a line.
Yes.
Kain's in the front, Nolan's in the middle, Miles is in the back.
Yes.
He like just shot him. Like boom, just shot him.
Yes. And he's not sure if he was close enough to actually have the gun in contact with his back, but regardless, he did see the fire when the trigger was pulled, which is so scary.
Wow.
Yeah. Nolan allegedly said, "I'm sorry, Kay," before he and Miles ran back to Miles's house. Nolan had no response from Miles when he asked why he had shot Kain. They both went back to the scene a few minutes later to retrieve Miles's BB gun because he had dropped it during the shooting. The only communication the boys had after this was when Nolan told Miles to say he had gone home to get a snack and not to tell anybody what happened. Neither of the boys called 911 for Kain. However, Nolan did call his dad, who was in Harrisburg at the time, which is so crazy because I went to Penn State Harrisburg. So this is just a lot of relations here. It's crazy.
So Nolan is like scheming. He's like, Miles, go home and you didn't see nothing.
Yes, essentially. But then he called his dad, and I'm not sure if he called his dad to tell his dad what happened because they just said he called his dad. Miles went home and told his parents what had happened, and they are the ones that called 911 for Kain.
Good for Miles. Way to go.
Because I just don't think that was what was expected to happen.
Yeah, because Nolan had been playing with the gun all day, and he seemed to like know what he was doing as far as like safety and like taking the bullets out and taking the gun apart and turning the laser on. So like, I'm wondering if the safety got clicked off in his pocket or something.
I mean, we'll get into a little bit of that later, but like,
Okay.
I just feel like with all the not threats, but like all of his instances throughout the day, like with the girls, with, Nolan doing, Nolan pointing the gun at Kain beforehand, you know what I mean? I feel
Yeah.
like I can see that
Yeah.
angle, but I also feel like with all of these previous actions that he's telling people like, yo, if I wanted to shoot somebody, I could, or I could
And then
shoot
he
somebody.
did.
You know what I mean? And then towards the end of
Yeah.
the day, he does actually do that. Like, it's just very much giving that this is what you wanted to do when you pulled
Right.
this gun out of this gun cabinet. State troopers arrived at Nolan's home, and when he was asked about the shooting, he informed them that he was in his room when he heard a gunshot. Danielle Nace, Nolan's mom, informed the state troopers that Nolan told her that it was an accident. Wait,
So he told his mom?
Yes. But I'm not sure when. Like, this is all from news reports. Like, I wasn't sure.
So at some point he does tell his mom like what happened, but he's like, but it was just an accident.
Yes, but it was an accident.
Okay.
According to court documents, she said that he told her that he was swinging the gun in his right hand as he walked and the gun accidentally went off. Which, according to what I've disclosed, is that it was in the pocket.
Right. Miles
of his
saw
sweatshirt.
it.
So how are you swinging a gun that was in your pocket?
Correct.
She went on to say that Nolan knows better than to point a gun at someone unless he intends to use it, and that his stepfather taught him the things that he had learned in his firearms safety course. According to her, Nolan has only ever shot a BB gun and a pellet gun before the shooting.
That's why he was so eager to shoot the gun, because he never actually shot it. But he shot it at that building, right? Like,
I don't know if anything came out when he shot it.
He was just pulling the trigger.
That I'm not sure. It didn't disclose if a bullet actually was ejected from the gun.
Okay.
That I do not know. All I know is he was pointing it and either pretending or actually shooting at the building. Yeah. Unfortunately, Kain did die from his gunshot injuries. Yes. And remember, he's just a teen. He's
I know. He's 12.
He's an itty bitty baby.
Wow.
12 years old being shot by your friend. Like, that's wild.
It's not what you would ever think would happen.
No, not at all. Especially if you're typically hanging out. Like, this is what you guys do. You guys hang out, you fool around. But like,
yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, I'm curious to know. Like,
and like, did they? Because, Miles had a BB gun. So I'm wondering, like, is this a normal thing that they bring their BB guns? Or is this something new? Or.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
According to sources, Nolan wasn't initially charged with murder. 1 month after his murder, Linda Arvin, Kain's grandmother, and other family and friends stood outside the York County Judicial Center seeking justice for Kain. Linda stated the following: "The coroner says it was a homicide. There's no question who did it. Why hasn't he been charged?" The district attorney's office stated that they would not be making a comment on the case due to it being an ongoing investigation. Linda goes on to state, "We realize that it will take a long time for the hearings, but the 13-year-old should be in custody. I wouldn't want him sleeping in the same house as me. I'd be scared to death. He shouldn't be free to do whatever he wants. My grandson is not free to do anything." She also stated that she wants Nolan's father to be charged as well, just like the mother of the 6-year-old that shot his teacher, Abby Zwerner. To my knowledge, the police haven't charged Nolan's father with anything. So it's just solely Nolan.
Well, I think the family makes like a good case is like, look, we know that the legal proceedings are going to take a while. Trial's going to take a while. Hearings are going to take a while. But like, why isn't he awaiting all of that in a judicial center? And
because he did shoot him.
Yeah, he did. And I mean, and they're not, And what are you investigating? Like, I'm confused. Like, you know who did it, you
Yes.
know the where, and you know
Yes.
with the what. Like, you solved the mystery of Clue.
So,
like,
what's the issue here?
And I guess it's because it's a minor. I understand. I also do think that parents should start being accountable, being held accountable.
Absolutely. Granted, they had a gun cabinet. I don't know if it was locked. I don't know what was everybody had access to it. I don't know. I don't know the situation with that. But regardless
and the mom
of the
did
fact,
say that, he was taught gun safety. And that is obvious in like what you were talking about is he did know about the gun. But at the same time, a 13-year-old should not have a gun without supervision if that's the route you want to take with your child. Like Preston's not going to just walk around with a gun. Like, no, sorry, Bob. No.
No. It's not a fun game, baby. You're not going to play
No, we're not doing that. So I do think they should be held accountable because why does the 13-year-old need a gun?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it was like his gun.
Right. But why does he need to be carrying it? Like, why did he get it?
Yeah.
Why was it so accessible? Why did he do it unsupervised?
Like, because I know my dad, he has guns. And like whenever granted, his guns are always locked up. And he don't have a lot. Like, got some things. But he's always like, beep, boop, bop, bop, bop. Like, they're locked. They're on a shelf that the kids cannot access. Like, my dad does not play with things like that. So I'm just unclear why other people aren't taking the same precautions. If you're going to have a gun and you have children, you need to take the proper precautions to make sure that your child is safe from that gun, whether they are trained or whether they are not, because kids get curious. They sure do. And if they see something that, they've seen, maybe in I don't know why they're watching, they play the video games, the Fortnite, if they see something that's in the game, I want to see, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need to do better with making sure guns are kept the way they need to be kept. And that's away from children. Locked up, high away. The kid don't even know it's there.
I agree.
Kain's family is having a hard time dealing with his death. Linda revealed that Kain's younger brothers, who are 10, 5, and 4, don't understand what has happened. She stated that his 10-year-old brother is angry, while his 4 and 5-year-old brothers only know that he was shot by a bad guy and died. Kain was described as a good kid that stood up to bullies. He was always making people laugh and enjoyed making funny noises.
Aww.
Yeah. And he was a sweet little kid. Like, if you look at his picture, like, as you will see.
I mean, he was a 12-year-old boy.
Yeah, so youthful and just young.
Having a boys' day.
Yeah. Like, this is not what should have happened.
No,
at all.
Not at all.
Nolan's preliminary hearing was on Tuesday, June 27th, 2023 in the York County Judicial Center. There, Miles and State Police Trooper Travis Vankerin were the only two witnesses present at the hearing. Here, Miles recounted the events on the tragic day. Travis, the state trooper, also spoke about the investigation. He stated that Nolan and his father arrived at the police barracks in Loganville. He stated that Nolan and his father arrived at the state police barracks in Loganville. Nolan disclosed to the police that he washed his hands. And I'm guessing that was because he was trying to get rid of the gunshot residue, even though that's not how it happens.
Yeah.
So...
But that's what he saw in a movie, I'm sure.
I mean, probably. But if he continued to watch the movie, he would know that, it's chemicals.
Yeah.
He also arrived in clothes different from the ones he committed the murder in. Those clothes were later taken by police and tested for gunshot residue as well.
So he's like exuding guilty though. Like, this like...
No, 100%.
You like, I mean...
Because then there's all this evidence against him. There is all this evidence against him.
You were knowledgeable enough to come home and tell your friend Miles to go basically make an alibi. Okay?
Yes.
You were knowledgeable enough to think that by washing your hands, you could get rid of gunshot residue.
And then to tell your mom that it was an accident.
Right. And then you changed your clothes. So you have some knowledge, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely agree. District Magisterial Judge John Fishel determined that Nolan had to stand trial. Nolan's potential charges included third-degree murder, firearms not to be carried without a license, involuntary manslaughter, possession of a firearm by a minor, and recklessly endangering another person. Now,
I
this
agree
is
with
where
all those
I'm
charges.
no, 100%. And I'm just confused with because right now it says this was his preliminary hearing, and then he's gonna have another one, and then I'm confused why there are so many preliminaries. I don't.
Yeah.
The research didn't go into details about that. So I was a little confused. On June 25th, 2023, Nolan was arraigned in York County Common Pleas Court on charges of third-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter. So I'm guessing they just took the other ones out.
Yeah, well, they always try to bargain and do plea agreements and yeah.
On May 3rd, 2024, again, the last update was from June 25th, 2023. Now we're in May 2024,
this
which
month,
literally was just a couple weeks ago, but months ago for y'all listening here. He was charged as an adult because you are charged as an adult when charged with murder in Pennsylvania. So regardless of your age, if you're charged with murder in Pennsylvania, you're getting charged as an adult.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. However, due to his age, he will be in a juvenile detention center until all further legal processing is concluded. Nolan faces the minimum of 40 years in prison for the third-degree murder charge. Devin, Kain's mother, feels like the third-degree murder charge isn't enough for what Nolan has done to her son. She stated the following: I think it should have been first or second-degree murder because I feel like it was premeditated. I feel like he planned out to kill my son. Devin is finding it quite difficult to comprehend why someone would want to hurt her son. She stated, I would ask him why he killed my son because I'm just not understanding why he would do that. The first preliminary hearing for Nolan is scheduled for June of this summer. So that is very, very, very soon. Okay. So I will be sure to keep you updated as the case unfolds over the summer.
I do think as a mother, you're going to want the harsher punishment.
Yeah.
But there is really no evidence that it was premeditated.
Correct.
You can't really prove that. And also, third-degree murder and 40 years at 13 years old, that's a long sentence. That's his life.
Yeah.
I mean, 40 years? If this, let's just hypothetically, I don't know the mother, and I do not mean this in any type of way, but will she be alive? Would she be alive in 40 years? That's what it's just, I do think that she has a right to feel the way that she does. That was her baby. Absolutely 100%. But I do see this as this is a fair punishment for a 13-year-old without evidence that it was premeditated.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the evidence was stacked that he definitely did this and that he, was doing things, pointing guns at people all day. But to equate that with he wanted to kill specifically Kain, I don't think we can prove that. I just don't think we could prove that.
And that's probably what the lawyers are telling her is we can't prove this without a doubt. And that's the whole point of the judicial system is you have to be able to prove it without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, as a jury member, I would have some doubt because if it was premeditated that the target was supposed to be Kain, he had all day.
Yeah.
He had all day. He had all the opportunity. He didn't have to go and point the gun at the other girls. He didn't have to go and shoot the building.
Correct.
So I just don't think there's enough evidence to say it was premeditated. Yes, he did it. Of course he did it. But the premeditated part is what's going to keep them from giving him that first degree or second degree murder.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree with that. And then I'm just trying to figure out what can be in place in the education system, but I really don't think it is, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't think it would be wise to have like gun safety classes in schools because some parents don't want their children exposed
Correct.
to those type of things. But I feel like something does need to be in place to teach, not necessarily
Yeah.
gun safety, but just like the seriousness behind playing with, like a dare program, if you will, for guns.
I don't think there's anything
I don't know.
wrong with gun safety. Even if your household doesn't carry guns, that doesn't mean you aren't going to ever be exposed to one. And
Yeah, just maybe just to handle
my
it.
house wasn't a drug house, but yet I knew about crystal meth and cocaine and all of that because of DARE. You know, just say so. It would be beneficial, like the DARE program. Like I did not grow up in a drug house, but I still participated in the DARE program.
Yeah,
some kids might not grow up in a gun household.
Some parents will definitely opt their kids out to that, and if that's what you want to do, that's fine. I just don't know what that course would it pertain. Like, would it pertain like how to unload a gun, or just don't touch them? Like, you shouldn't be touching, because I don't. As much as people are saying, like, I know parents are having these conversations, don't touch guns, don't touch guns. I mean, I haven't had this conversation with Skylar and Aria because they're not around guns.
Right.
They are not around guns. My dad is never going to leave a gun out for them to function. They like to be able to experiment. You know what I mean? They don't have, like, so I don't even know when the proper age to be like, hey, if you're ever around somebody with a gun, don't touch it.
And I also think, too, it depends on your demographic, because my kids are heavily exposed to guns because they're involved in street life. And that's not the legal way to get guns. They don't get guns legally. And half their parents don't even know they have guns. But half of my kids do. And half of my kids know where to get a gun. And half of my kids have a gun. And half of my kids carry a gun outside of school because they are affiliated with street life. And they talk about it all the time. And they talk about blasting each other. And they talk about what is sparking you up. Like, I mean, this is the things that I hear. And they don't know how to shoot. They've never been to a shooting range. They've never properly assembled and disassembled, or whatever you call it, a gun. They don't. So I'm not saying come in and teach gangbangers how to use guns. It's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But could it benefit kids slightly younger than mine to maybe put a little fear in them? Like, hey,
no,
this
100%.
is just not, And
I think it would be even better if it came from, like, not just like a DARE program, like, per se, but like if the police departments like organize something where they go around to schools, and because cops do get a bad stigma from what's put in the news, and granted, all cops are not bad. I mean, I know plenty of great cops. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like but I feel like we need to start shedding some light, shedding some like positive light on cops, because then they're becoming targets. Everybody's like, oh, screw the blue, da da da, this, that, and the third. So I feel like if a program comes out from police departments to stress the importance of gun safety, that would be, so
100%. And I saw a guy on TikTok, and he has like a program, and it's probably 6-year-olds up to like 10, 12-year-olds. And one of his activities that he did was he got a cop to come and demonstrate. The kids stood around a car, how to demonstrate how to properly get pulled over. And these were kids of color. Like, I mean, they were Black kids. But he allowed the cop to speak to the kids. And he was like, I just want y'all to know, from a cop's perspective, I'm terrified when I pull someone over.
Absolutely. Because you never know what is going to happen.
And he was like, I want to make it home too. Like, I'm not out to get you. I'm just doing my job.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was just because I look at the demographic that I teach and the kids that I teach, and I'm just like, wow, that would be super powerful for my kids to hear.
Yeah.
And just like, he just went through, he was like, if you can turn on your interior light, it would just make me feel better. It would make you feel better. He's like, we all just want to get home. He said, I'm not here to get you. I just doing my job,
Absolutely.
know? And
I think that, that is something, like you said, that would be very beneficial.
It could help bridge the gap that's going on right now.
Absolutely. Because I feel like the younger kids who are, the ones who have access to these guns, the ones, in gangs and stuff like that, they don't see cops as people.
No,
they just see them as enemies. Like, but they have families, they have wives, they have daughters, they have sons, they have mothers, they have fathers. And granted, it is their job to protect and serve, but they want to go home too. They want to make it back to their family.
Yeah.
Just like teachers, we didn't go into this profession thinking we had to protect ourselves, and now we have to think of all the other things that could happen and how we can not only keep ourselves safe, but all the 20-something kids in our classroom safe at the same time. It's the same thing. They didn't sign up to be killed. They just supposed to enforce the laws. That's it.
And Kain didn't sign up to be killed. Like, he just thought his friend was playing with a gun.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Did he think the safety was on? I don't know. We won't. I don't know. I don't know that we will know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. And I think it would be way more meaningful if a gun safety program came from police. It would help bridge that gap, and it would help build those relationships between kids and police.
Yeah. And then you have different age groups, like what you say to kids, because different age groups, you got to speak in a different way to get them to comprehend. And, I think that would, I need to call my local police and ask them if they have anything like that in the play. Just curious to see if anything like that is out there, because, there are tons of cases of kids accidentally being shot and mishandling guns. And it's just like, and like, his mom said, hey, he's had, his stepfather gave him, the training that he got from his firearms course. So he was very well aware, but I don't know to what extent that firearm safety course, was it just like, oh, this is a safety, this is this, or was it like, you don't handle a gun?
Correct.
But I know
if you are going to handle a gun, it's going to be at a shooting range with an adult present. And we're going to have all the protective gear.
Yes. Yeah. Because guns can do very scary things. And you did a very scary thing with this gun.
You did a very adult thing, and now you're being charged as an adult.
That's essentially what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Well, that was our case of the murder of Kain Heinland. So, like I said, I'll keep you guys updated.
Yeah.
I'm sure updates will come throughout the summer. So, and we're thinking about doing some update, episodes with some cases that we've gotten some more information on and things like that. So just be on the lookout for that.
Yep. That's a wrap.
It sure is. We had a double play today.
We did.
Double play. Well, as always, the bell don't dismiss you.
We do.
So we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.